Hi, good. How are you?
Good, good. Just going to start with you, Tanya. This Your character is possibly my favorite person in this whole cast because she is completely wild and she's basically at the end of her tether and she decides to completely change who she is and she goes for it. And there's something that I really admire about that. Talk us through this character and how you worked with the writers to get her to where she is.
Yeah, well, she's a person who has spent her whole life being a servant to this family and feeling like she's not really a full person.
Mm.
She's brought up to believe that she's less than, that the people that she's looking after, like Philomena, are more important than she is. And then when she gets to a point in the first, very early on in the first episode, where she realizes that the only she actually commits murder. Where she kind of realizes that the one person that she loved is no longer has died, or so she believes. And so she makes a snap decision, commits a little bit of murder, um, and she just thinks, I'm completely untethered now. I've spent my whole life being a servant and I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just, what have I got to lose? I've got literally nothing to live for. So I'm just gonna have some fun. And so she does exactly that. She's really, really bright. She's really ahead of the game. She is a good person at heart. Like, she does murder a little bit, but like she's ultimately a good person. And so she just decides to have a bit of fun. She goes and gets hers for a bit, because why not?
Jessica, Philomena is wickedly villainous, but in a good way. It's in a really kind of like sort of, you want to hate her, but you actually can't help but like her.
Okay, good.
Talk me through. Let's talk about how you got the role for starters, and how you prepared for that kind of character.
If I'm honest, when I first so I got the role via I sent a tape and then I had an audition, then I had a chemistry read with Tanya, then I had another chemistry read with Tanya, because if I'm honest, I think the first one I was a bit um and but yeah, I remember reading the first episode before I got it, and just, it was the first it was like the best thing I'd read in such a long time. And truly, I did think that, as much as I would have been, completely honored to be a part of it, didn't think that I would. But, one of the notes from Kathleen on the audition side basically said to just have fun. Don't be afraid to be like slightly weird. And I feel like having that note really helped kind of just like not be too precious about my performance. And I did just really enjoy it. I can be quite anal with my tapes, like I do them quite a few times, and this one I think I just did it like twice. I didn't even watch it back. I didn't think about it until I started doing my chemistry reads with Tanya, and then it took over my life. I remember my final one. It was quite late because Tanya, I think you were filming that day, and so I was waiting for Tanya to finish work, and I had my daughter with me. I like bribed her with television and sweets, put her to bed early, sat with my laptop ready and like all my lights and everything for about 20 minutes, just like waiting. And then at the very last minute, very typically needed the toilet, of course, and that's when everyone decides to come online. Do you remember? And I'm literally like mid-flow. My toilet's not far from, it's opposite my bedroom, so I was just like, I'm sorry guys, I'm coming from the toilet. But yeah, I mean, it was such a fun audition. Like doing it against doing a tape with somebody that isn't in it is one thing. It was still fun, but doing it with Tanya, it was just like the spark was there. I was like, do you know what? Like, I actually think I could get this. I mean, I'm not sure because it's kind of a big deal, but maybe. And yeah, it was brilliant playing Philomena. I don't even know if I've answered any of your questions.
Oh, no, you did. Brilliant. Gold. Let me ask you both, actually. How much did you know about the Decameron, and were you aware of its existence beyond what you filmed?
No, initially, no, I didn't know about it at all until like
Googled it.
Yeah.
I
don't even know if I knew what it was when we were auditioning. Maybe I did by the, but I learned about it from this.
Yeah. But we were told by the creator that like it's inspired by it, but there's not really I think Lichska isn't even a character in the books, right?
She is in the books, but in the book, but it's not like a straightforward adaptation. It's not like
inspired by...
It's not like Pride and Prejudice. It's it's very much taking the running with it.
I spoke to Kathleen just before you about her inspirations of things, because this reminded me a lot of horrible histories and things like that, like absurdist history. And I want to ask you, what kind of what are your inspirations for your characters, or are you a fan of that kind of genre at all?
Oh yeah.
Big fan.
Like, I honestly believe that I manifested this job for myself. It was like when, as an actor, you get asked like, what kind of what's your dream job? Like, what do you? And I would just, you never have an answer for that really. But for so long before the Decameron came up, I just desperately wanted like a satirical, clever period comedy, but like that deals with like very important issues, and like it materialized, and it was like, what? I'm a witch. But I mean, I watched like I'm the favorite before filming, because I actually took loads of like I don't know, Emma Stone's character in that. I've felt like I was anchoring onto her a little bit at the beginning, but I love this vibe.
Yeah, me too. Do you know what? It's so funny because after the last thing I was doing press for was asked a similar question, and not to copy you or anything, but I kind of as well think I manifested it, because everyone was like, what do you want to do next? And I was like, comedy. And I feel like, I mean, I touched on it briefly. I didn't even think that I'd get this, but to be able to be in a comedy like this, that's written like so cleverly with a cast as phenomenal as you guys, like comedy is like so brand new to me, and to be able to learn so much from just the writing and with all the different directors that we work with, but just like seeing everyone's performances, I feel like you watch people live and you see what they do and they're amazing, but there was still so much that I hadn't seen. And now, having seen the show, looking at it, and it's like everyone is so incredible. I am so proud of our cast. And just like all like the detail, like comedy is not easy. I think people think that like the hard stuff in acting is like all the crying and everything. No. I got a lot of notes at the beginning to maybe bring it back.
Fantastic. Thank you guys. Really, congratulations on this. Really loved it. So congrats, and thank you
so much.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys.
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys.